basics, and I cannot collect all the information from your side. Okay. Okay. So guys, this technology you don't require any pre-knowledge kind of stuff. Just if you need at least a computer or a basics of some server, that is more than enough. Okay. So keep it in and mind. Okay. Guys, very simplest thing I want to tell it is this is my hard disk. Think like it is an hard disk. Okay. So for example, this is the 500 GB a hard disk. It is. Okay. I attach this hard disk to my computer. So I attach my hard disk to the computer. So this is a fresh hard disk. I purchased a very fresh hard disk. Nothing is there inside. Okay, no format, nothing is there. No file system, nothing is there. Just it's a fresh hard disk. When I attach this hard disk, it is asked initialize. Initialize. Initialize the hard disk as either MBR type or a GPT type of hard disk. So you have to initialize the disk as a MBR type of disk or a GPT type of disk. Okay. So what is this MBR? Means master boot record. Okay. GPT means GUID partition table. Okay. So if in case if you initialize the disk as MBR, so don't worry what I'm doing. So I'm going to disk management. If you know that is good. Okay. If you don't, I think you know already. Okay. askmgmt.msc. I'm opening my disk management here. Okay, I'm attaching a virtual hard disk to show you the options purpose only. Okay, so the hard disk is it's a virtual hard disk. So I have a two hard disks. So I'm attaching a virtual hard disk here. Okay, so this is a empty hard disk. Oh, so this is we need a fresh, very fresh hard disk. You don't get a disk management command from your side. So, this part is a command. So list disk. So I find three disks. Mine is a disk two. Okay. Select. So don't do it in your system. So I'm doing it. Okay. So disk two. And also if you are observed, it is GPT star means disk zero is a GPT disk, and the disk one is MBR disk. Disk two is a GPT disk. Okay. So select a disk two. You should not do it. Okay. So then I put a clean. So what will happen? So any changes occur? Yeah, disk. So nothing. So see, not initialized. Now I clearly clean the disk. Then I put a exit. So I don't do anything. Okay. So don't worry. Okay, what I done. So don't worry. So just if you get to understand, that is good. If you don't understand, you will understand later. Okay. So this is become a uninitialized because I make this one as a fresh hard disk. Okay, so you can get a initialize the disk like this. Otherwise, I'm removing the hard disk. I'm reattaching the disk. So attach VHD. Okay, so like this. So it is look like a fresh hard disk. Okay, this is a new hard disk I attached. Think like that. It is asking a initialize. Even for this hard disk also, when I attached for first time, it is asking initialize. Okay, so this hard disk asking initialize. So right click, initialize the disk. Initialize the disk. It is showing two options: MBR or a GPT. You can initialize as a MBR or you can initialize as a GPT also. Either one you can select it. Okay, so that's it. So that is MBR and GPT. So whenever attach a disk, you have to initialize as a MBR type or a GPT type. Sometimes system will initialize when you are installing an operating system. At the time of operating system, automatically your operating system and system will initialize the disk automatically. So what is the difference between this MBR and GPT? We'll see that one. If you are initialized as a MBR, you can create a number of partitions to the disk. Like you can create like this partitions. So maximum partitions you can create four primary partitions. Four primary partitions you can able to create it like this. Okay. So whenever you're done with the four primary, the remaining space in the hard disk you can't utilize for anything. You can't utilize it for anything. For example, you take a 500 GB. For example, this is 50, this is 50, this is 100, this is 100. For example, just for example, 200 plus 100, 300 GB completed. 200 space is free. This 200 you cannot utilize for anything. So what to do? What to do? So make it as a one single partition. So make it as a single 300 or a delete all the partition and try to make it a proper plan and create a proper partitioning table. Okay, like that you can able to it. So you can make it 200 plus. So make it as a 300 now. So like this you can able to manage. Or or there is another chance is also there. Or you can do like this. So we can make this one as a extended volume. You can make this one as a extended volume. Okay. You can make this one as a extended. So three primary completed. The extended volume you can create it. So like this. In this one, you can create a number of logical volumes. You can create a number of logical volumes. So this volume we call it as a extended volume. Inside of volumes we call it as a logical volumes. So that is about your MBR. MBR. So MBR, we can create either four primary partitions or a three primary plus one extended. Inside a extended, you can create number of logical partitions. Like this is 20 GB, this is 30 GB, this is maybe a some 50 GB, this is 100 GB. Depends upon disk space available. Number of logical partitions you can able to create. Okay. Next. One more point is there for MBR. The partition size is maximum 2 terabyte. Maximum size of partition is 2 terabytes. That is a MBR. And about the GPT, 128 primary partitions. 128 primary partitions we can able to create it, and no extended partition. No extended partition. And another hand, the size of the partition is 2 terabyte, and more than 2 terabyte is also support. Okay, so actually say support more than 2 terabyte and up to 18 EB. 18. Of course, some textbooks and some internet researches it shows 9.2 ZB, but I have seen Red Hat textbooks and all it is showing 18 EB only. Okay, so that is the difference between MBR and GPT. So if you want to see, since the first one is MBR, okay, now automatically disk is initialized as a MBR. How I know? It is telling convert into GPT disk. It means it's a MBR disk. So I'm creating some partition here, 2048. In meaning is 2 GB drive I created. So the first one is primary partition. Okay. Second one I wantedly creating 1 GB partition. Still 7 GB is there. If you are using a Windows XP 2000 2003 kind of models, okay, obviously, okay, so three primaries are completed. Obviously, for fourth one, it will ask, do you want to create a primary or extended? But in a from Windows Vista 7 onwards or a 2008 server onwards, it won't ask you, do you want to create a primary or extended? You whenever you create, automatically the first three partitions are primary partitions. Automatically, first three partitions are primary partition, and the fourth one automatically become extended partition. So here I am giving 2048. Anything you can give, small sizes also, just for understanding and practice purpose only. See, the fourth one automatically become extended partition. Okay, this is 2 GB a logical drive or a means logical partition. In this one also I can create. I create another one. 1 GB partition I'm creating. See, still 3 GB left. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 partitions are currently I created, but 1, 2, 3 are a primary partitions and 3, 4 are a logical drives. Still I can able to create it because of I have a free space. So that is extended partition. Okay, guys, understand this one. MBR GPT difference. Primary partitions. Four primary or a three primary, one extended. And the extended you can create a logical drives. Multiple logical drives you can give it. You can create a number of logical drives you can able to create it. Okay, each partition size maximum support size is 2 TB, up to 2 TB. Okay, next, what is a GUID? We'll see that one. So I'm going to delete each and every partition. I can't convert into GPT until unless I remove everything. Okay, how to delete the partition. Okay, it is asking convert it to GPT. So you need to do all the kind of stuff. So I'm converting into GPT. Now it is showing converted to MBR means it's a GPT partition. Of course, there is a commands to look at that one also. So if you want, so this is a GPT disk I said, but you can use a command prompt also, or you can use a PowerShell also. If you want to use a PowerShell also, you can do it. Okay, very simple. Get disk. So you'll get a one, two, three disk or what? So you'll see. Yeah. See, if you look at this 10 GB disk is a GPT type of disk. I'm converting this into MBR. Now it is showing convert into GPT. It means it is a MBR disk. Again, same. It is MBR. Okay. So that is okay. So what we want a GPT disk, not MBR disk. Okay. Next, I'm going to create a partition. See, like this. First is 10. You can take 1 GB, 2 GB like that. No problem. So 1 GB or 2 GB, but not a big deal. 1024. In creating a MB sizes also. You want to create a 512 MB disk also you can create just for a samples purpose. So three disks are completed. So you can see the blue color to understand it is a primary or not. So the fourth one I'm creating. Look at carefully. Okay. Now it is like earlier. It is not drawing any border, and it is not writing as a primary partition like this. It is it's in basic data partition only. Basic data partition only. Okay. I'm creating another one. See, it is okay. So I created almost more than five partitions. I created. Still, it is able to create a partitions like this. I don't need to create any extended partitions like this. You can create a 128 primary partitions. How many primary partitions you can create? 128 primary partitions. No extended. Okay. No extended means no logical drives. Okay, no logical means inside extended you don't have a logical drives. Okay, so maximum support size is more than 2 terabyte support. Okay, it support 2 terabyte and more than 2 terabyte. Okay, so actually, or you can say up to 18 GB. This is about your MBR and GPT type of disk. In the storages, the important point of storing a data, you have to store the data into a particular disk or somewhere, right? So, what type of disk it is? Hard disk it is, MBR type of disk or a GPT type. If it is MBR, how many primary you can able to it, how many extended you can able to do it like that. Okay. So here 2 points. Okay. So one note point I will put it. OS means operating system installs in generally in primary partitions only. Next, when you see a disk here, It is showing a basic disk. Okay, you can say like a convert into dynamic disk. It is showing here. Okay, it is showing convert into dynamic disk. Never convert into dynamic disk. Okay, don't convert into dynamic disk or a basic disk or anything. So don't touch it. Basically, my point is do not touch it. I think you know disk management. If you want anything questions about the related to disk management, please tell me now. Like, so what is these options are there? Extended, shrink, volume, delete volume. What is this? What is this? If you have any doubt, please tell me.
Sir,
Yeah, tell me.
sir, if my laptop consists of HDD instead of HDD, SSD,
Okay.
sir, is there any possibility to done the partition?
In SSD,
Yes, sir.
yeah, you can do partition. But how much
Partition.
size of your SSD?
512.
512 MB. Okay, okay. That's you can be able to do it. No problem.
512. Yeah.
Same thing. You can go to
Sir,
disk
I have a
management.
doubt
Try
regarding.
shrink.
Okay.
So 1 second.
But when I'm accessing,
Yeah, tell me. Tell me.
yeah, when I'm trying to opening the disk management from the search bar, I'm unable to find the find that option, disk management.
Disk management is not there.
Yeah.
I don't- Disk management must be there. It will be there. You may do partition or not. That's a different point. But it must be there.
Okay. Sir, I have a doubt regarding
Hmm.
MBR partition.
Okay.
The maximum highest occupancy of MBR partition is around 4 GB only, no sir. And GPT is 16 terabyte.
No, no, no. MBR. For example, this is MBR. Okay. So the partition size is 2 terabyte. Total partition size is 2 terabyte. GPT is a 18 EB. I'm not telling that one. Microsoft is telling that one. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Hello, sir. Excuse me.
Yeah, tell me, tell me.
Sir, MBR or GPT, which one is best for dividing?
Yeah,
Mostly, which
GPT
one
is
is?
better. If you are purchasing a new laptop and if you want to put your disk on yourself, MBR or GPT, so GPT is a better.
Okay, sir.
Okay, faster read and writing, all this kind of stuff will come because MBR is a old one, literally. Guys, shrink means you can divide a disk into smaller part. Extend, you can increase into larger part. But when you are extending, always remember, okay, you can extend it to this one only. So look at here. This is my partition. I want to extend. I can extend means I can add the next unallocated volume to my partition. Mainly this side. I cannot add this volume. I can't add this side volume. And if any gap is there, I can't add it also. So I can extend the next to this volume, but extend will be off. Even though we have a unallocated partition is there. Next, shrinking means you can reduce the volume size. So I took a 2 GB from this one. See, the volume size is reduced, and you got a some unallocated partition. This partition you can able to add it here, but this is we can't add it to here. Okay, so that's the point I want to tell. If you forget or maybe you don't know or anything, but just try to learn that shit. So this is the first thing about a simple MBR and GPT. Another type of disk type is a basic disk and dynamic disk. So I will tell now only. So basic disk and dynamic disk. Here it is. Okay, that's now, guys. This is a hard disk. Hard disk means it's a physical disk. Normally, hard disk means a physical disk. Physically, a single disk. It's a disk. The physical disk we are logically dividing. Logically or virtually, we are dividing big disk into this one. Each partition we call it as a drive, right? So C drive, D drive. This is a C drive. This is a D drive. This is E drive. Okay, like this we are calling, right? So for example, this is a 500 GB hard disk, and I took a 50 GB per C drive. D drive is, for example, 100 GB. E drive, for example, another 100 GB. So what we are calling it is a drive, means total hard disk drive we are divided into small drives. So that we call it as a partition. Okay, that we call it as a partition. The big disk is become small disk. Okay, so by using partitions, very simple concept, right? Now this is a hard disk, and this is another hard disk. We'll going to discuss these parts again, but just listen carefully. For example, this is the 500 GB hard disk, and this is the 1 terabyte of hard disk. Okay, 500 GB hard disk. This is the 1 terabyte of hard disk. Okay, I am going to combine these two hard disks and create a huge size of the volume. Huge volume. I'm creating 1.5 terabytes of single disk volume. I'm creating. What I created? I created a volume. Okay, so this is called here spanned volume. For example, the volume name is spanned volume. So what I done? I combined the two physical disk and make it as a single volume. Make it as a single volume. Here it is one single hard disk having a C drive, D drive kind of stuff. Now two hard disks combined, I have a single drive only. I have a single drive only by adding a two hard disk. Okay, so combination of two hard disks, two or more hard disks, and create a huge volume from it. So this is called a volumes. Concept from the Windows Vista onwards, names are changed. Windows Vista exactly say 7. Okay, so this partition we call it as a new simple volume. It is a simple volume means you are creating a partition. Simple volume means you are creating a partition. Next level is spanned volume, then stripped volume, mirror, radify volumes also there. Okay, but here remember volume partition. So the earlier partition name we are calling it as a simple volume. Next, so this is a single disk. We divide into multiple partitions. This is a multiple disk. We combine and create a single volume. Okay, this type of disk we use this disk is basic disk. These disks are basic disk. It means the type is basic. That's it. You attach the hard disk. You attach the hard disk. The hard disk type is basic hard disk. Just you told it is a basic hard disk. And these hard disk also basic hard disk only. Is no difference. These disk also basic hard disk. To make a volume, you have to convert this basic hard disk into dynamic hard disk. You have to convert basic disk into dynamic disk. Okay, you have to convert basic disk into dynamic disk. Then only we can able to combine. Then only we can able to combine the physical hard disk and create a large volumes or a redundancy. So that is a basic disk, and this is the dynamic disk. So why we use a basic disk? Why we use a dynamic disk? Basic disk are a single disk purpose. No need to combine to with any other disk to store operating system. Mainly to store operating system, basic files, applications related purpose. Use a basic disk file. Dynamic disk to why we convert the basic to dynamic to create a large volume or for a redundancy purpose. So you look at this one. Here it is. It is basic disk initialized for a basic storage, default storage of Windows operating system. Dynamic disk can be modified without restarting Windows system. Provided several options for configuring volumes. Okay, okay, those kind of stuff. Okay. Um, Disk types: basic disk and dynamic disk. So important is we can store operating system, and it is a basic storage purpose only. It is used to configure volumes. Okay, we can convert basic to dynamic disk. Okay, so we can convert basic disk to dynamic disk without losing data. Okay? But dynamic disk cannot be converted into basic disk without losing data. Okay, into dynamic disk cannot convert into basic disk without losing data. Okay, so several options for configuring volumes. What are these volumes? Also, we'll see volumes and volume, stripped volume, mirror, write 5 volumes. You can able to create for a dynamic. So for that purpose only. So mainly for combining. So it is used to combine two or more disks together. Okay, that's the main purpose of this one. That is we call it as a volumes. Okay, so disk volume requirements specific that file has to be required to start the server about volume for operating system files. That is nothing. Okay, so what is the basic disk? A normal disk. You can create a partition. What is a basic disk? It's a normal disk. You can create a partition, store a operating system, applications, regular data in that. Okay, and why we need a dynamic disk? So to create a volumes like a by combining two or more disks together, so we need to convert the basic disk into dynamic disk. It's just type only, not a specific type, just like your MBR GPT type only. Okay. Mm, Next one is your file system. I will tell file system, and then I will give you a break. Okay. I think some of you are already sleeping, so no problem. File system. Okay, whenever you want to store a data, so you have to specify a file system. What it is? Whenever whenever you want to store data in disk or anywhere, okay, so so we need a file system. Okay, so what is a simply a file system means arrangement. Why I'm typing like this? An arrangement, an arrangement of files in order. Okay, in a proper order. So that is called a file system. In generally, there is a two type of guys, format. You know, format. What is a format? Anyone? What is format?
Ready to use.
Ready to use. Okay, good.
Erasing the data.
Erasing the data. Very good. Any other idea? Okay. When you are sending a resume, so you are sending a resume. Okay. So you ask your friend, please give me your resume. So then I will change some my details and I will forward it. So he given his resume, or maybe you ask your senior or someone, send me a resume format. So then I can prepare a resume. So what is that meaning? Send me a resume format. You're not
Structure.
erasing anything. Yeah, tell me.
Structure.
Yeah, structure. Structure. Very good. So what is a format means? How it should be there. Okay, you are defining how it should be there. Arrangement of files in order, like that. So what is a format? Okay, so it is means define file system. Okay, defining a file system. So that is called defining. Of course, there is a two type of formats are there. Low level format, high level format is also there. So usually low level format means define uh, sectors and tracks. Okay, sectors and tracks on a hard disk. This is called a high level format. Defining file system. So we'll see what are the existing file systems are available. Okay, the first one is FAT. Of course, in a FAT also there is updated version is FAT 32. FAT 12, FAT 16, there is different names are there, but FAT 32 is final one. Okay, NTFS. Okay, we are in a Windows. Mainly, we use FAT and NTFS file systems. Okay, so other than this one, XFAT, REFS. These are another two file systems are there. Okay, in a Linux based system, Linux, if you are using Unix kind of operating system, ext2, ext3, ext4, these are the XFS. These are the file systems we generally use it. Okay, you if you want to use a storage like a network related storages. Okay, network related file systems also there. Okay, you want to store a data through network like a shared folders kind of stuff. Okay, so that is NFS, CIFS. CIFS also we call it as a Samba. Okay, SMB file system. Both are same. CAFS, Samba, SMB, all names are same only. NFS, network file system. Common internet file system. Okay, like this. So, what is a FAT? File allocation table. NTFS, new technology file system. Okay, this is extended FAT. This is resilient file system. So we'll see the differences in a file FAT32. I'm not going to much differences. FAT32 is a 32 GB partition size. 32 GB partition size. Uh, File maximum size is 4 GB. So not more than 4 GB data we can't store in a 32 GB. So like you have a single file. Okay. So single file with the 4 GB file is there. So you can't store in a fat file system. Okay. So that's the thing. So usually they given a here, but it's no guarantee. Like it's a we can't store a very big files. So cannot store big files. Mm, Windows OS files also you can be able to store. Okay, we can't store big files and Windows operating system files also we cannot store. That is keep in mind. Okay, other few details are there, so I'm not going with that much of depth. Okay, here it is. So partition size, okay, is 2 TB and more. Okay, 2 TB and more. Okay, so that is keep it in mind. Okay, next can store big size files like more than 4 GB files, and we can store Windows OS files. Okay, but NTFS has some features. NTFS features are there, compulsory, you should know it. Disk quota. Okay, the first feature is disk quota, security, disk quota, security, encryption, encryption. Okay, encryption, compression, index. So these are the features of their NTFS. Okay, so what is this extended FAT? FAT maximum support is 32 GB, but nowadays we are having a memory cards like a flash drives, memory cards, SD cards, whatever the name you call it as XD cards. The size is like nowadays like a 64 GB, right? Extendable memory, your mobile phone extended memory, like it's 128 SD cards are there, 256 GB SDD cards are there, right? The sizes of the flash drives memory cards are high. Earlier it is 8 GB, 16 GB, 32 GB. Up to 32 GB, up to 32 GB, FAT32 support. But if increases, then we can't support, and we can't store big files. We can't store the very big files. That is we discussed, right? But exFAT supports more than 32 GB, 32 GB size, and big files. Support big files also. So that's why for a memory card specifically, like if you have a doubt, if you have a doubt, so check, go to your mobile, and if you are already inserted, it's a good. Otherwise, you try to insert anything more than 64 GB, 64 GB type memory card. Okay, 64 GB or more. So definitely it will ask for a format, and it will convert the memory card into exFAT automatically if it is a old style. Okay, some memory cards usually pre-converted into exFAT. Some memory cards already converted into exFAT, so directly you can insert and start using it. Okay, so that's it. Okay, so what is a exFAT? Normally, we are using a pen drives and memory cards are a FAT in the format, but FAT support up to 32 GB. But currently, we have a big size memory cards are there, like a 64 GB, 128 GB, 256 GB, 512, 1 terabyte of a memory cards also available in the market. Big pen drives also available, 64 GB pen drives, 128 GB pen drives also available in the market. So if you still try to use the FAT won't support more than 32 GB partition size or a drive size. Okay, so what to do? Better to better to use exFAT file system. exFAT file system. So it support bigger in the size of file system, and as well as you can store the big files. You can store big files also. So why we can able to store the big files? Sorry, uh, what is the difference? What is this big file kind of stuff? You have a mobile phone, you want to watch a movie. Now it is a 4K supported mobile phone, Blu-ray supported mobile phones also there. Then you download a video file, or you store a video file in your memory card. Fat cannot store big files, but this is can able to store, right? So we can view the video, no problem, because a HD video is, for example, 1 terabyte. Sorry, 1 GB. A HD video. Full HD 1.5, 1.8. But 4K means definitely 4 times, means almost like a 3 GB, 4 GB, 5 GB, like that. It can be a very big file. So normal fat file system cannot store big files. So we can easily store the big files here. That is exFAT. Next one is a resilient file system. What is a resilient? It will give you a resiliency. What is resiliency? So it is actually protect your operating system file. So you can type refs resilient. So this is a resilient file system. I got a doubt in a spelling, so that's why. Okay, resilient file system. So what is this resilient file system? What is the advantage of it? So it won't let your system corrupted. So data won't get corrupted. Okay, so there's in my PPT also, it is there, but this is REFS do not have REFS do not have NTFS features, but it has a resiliency. So it use CRC. Anybody will tell what is CRC? You guys are completed with networking, right? Hmm? Tell me what is CRC. Any CSC IT guys? CRC.
Error detecting code.
Very good. I need a abbreviation. Good.
Cyclic redundancy check.
Very good. Cyclic redundancy check. Cyclic redundancy check. So what is this cyclic redundancy check? Okay, it will give you a small code, okay, from your data. It generate a code from your data, and make sure your data won't get corrupted. If it is some corruption is occurs also, it will try to make it repairable. Okay, so data is in the form of zeros and ones. So much of data is there. Okay, when people are accessing the data, transferring the data from one place to another place, keep touching the data possibility of corruption is occurring. Sometimes our friend given files like PPTs. Okay, prepare this PPT or PDF files or documents they'll give us, and we try to access it, and it will shows data is corrupted. So that is the problem, right? So what is the advantage of this one? This is a CRC is nothing but an algorithm. Okay, so using this algorithm, it protect the data not to get corrupted. So that is the REFS. But REFS do not have a features of NTFS features, but usually in organizations, so we don't require the NTFS features, but we need compulsory, we have to protect our data from corruption, not from access. So like that, so compulsory. So there we use REFS. Resilient file system. Okay, cyclic redundancy check. So in our PPT also we have that one. So you can see that kind of stuff here. Okay, and reverse compatibility is also there. Means you can convert it back into normal NTFS. Means NTFS to REFS, REFS to NTFS. We can able to convert it back. So this is about one. Of course, I didn't explain these things. I will explain it again. So don't worry. Now only I will explain. And this is a Linux and Unix based operating systems also there. They use a different type of file system. Some of the example is ext2, ext3, ext4. Ext4 is a new file system currently running from Red Hat 7 kind of stuff. Okay, XFS also one of the file system, extended file system kind of stuff. Okay, in a network, through network you are accessing a data from one place to another place. We use a certain protocols like a NFS file system, network file system. Okay, export type, common internet file system, that is also a file. Not only this, device wise also it is there, like a DVDs. It's a UDF, universal disk format. Whenever you are using DVD, the DVD use UDF file system, HSFS, HSFS, CDFS, okay, compact disk file system. Okay, so I'm typing some file systems. You can see HSFS, okay, CDFS, like that. So there is a different type of file systems also available in the market. Okay, so yeah, that's point. Last one, I will explain these things. What is a disk quota? What is a NTFS and disk quota? Listen very carefully. So this is my disk size is there. For example, this is my D drive. This is something around a 200 GB disk. I have a 200 GB disk is there. So for example, I have a nephew. So I'm a small brother itself. Like, people what they will do, they'll keep putting a data. Okay, they'll keep putting a data. So some other user, secondary user. Okay, okay. So we have a next user like admin. As admin, you can control the access or store the data. Okay, so what happened, some other user means maybe a brother or a sister, a little brother or sister, someone is there. So what they will do, they'll keep putting data into the drives. Someone they download earlier. Now it is okay, everybody having their own mobile and they are dying with that one only. So but earlier we have only one computer for everyone access. So what we do, copy some data from friend, like a movies, songs, some waste videos kind of stuff like that. So something we copied and keep it in your drive. So if you keep putting a data into the drive, what happened, drive will get full, right? Drive will get full. So what to do, think like this, guys. I'm a admin user. My name is admin1, and I'm assigning a thing like there is a user name is user1. Okay, I'm a user, first user, this is the second user, like a brother user. So for this user on this disk, I'm giving only 20 GB space only. So this user can able to store the data in the 200 GB disk, but he can able to store up to 20 GB only. Understand? In a 200 GB disk, I given only 20 GB to this particular user. So he can able to store up to 20 GB. If you store more than that one, immediately it will send a warning. Okay. So that is disk quota. In your organization also we have a disk quotas are there, like how much data you can able to store in the disk. Obviously, for each user there is a limitation of disk storage. I will show you one simple example for that one. Just go to Google Drive. Simple, right? Can you see 15 GB? If you cross the 15 GB, you have to pay for it. So I can use up to 15 GB. So how it is possible, like a, this concept is like a disk quota. So limit the storage access. Don't give entire space. Give the limited space only. So by using disk quota. Okay. So NTFS, one of the feature is disk quota. Next, security. What is security? Already I think you done the security. For example, I have a file. For example, file1.txt. File1.txt. This time I have a file. So users are trying to access the file. So I given a permission. User one can able to read and write the file. So user one can able to access this file. So he can read the file and write the file. User two can read the file, but he cannot write the file. User three cannot able to read the file, cannot able to write the file. So see, I am giving a permission on this file. So which user can able to read and write, or a read, no write, no read, no write kind of stuff we can able to give permission. So that is called a NTFS security or a NTFS ACL. NTFS ACL, NTFS security. Okay. So that is called. Lot of people think security means it is belongs to antivirus, virus, attack, no attack, hacking, no hacking kind of stuff. It is not that one. So security purely means giving a permission to access your data, file, directory, or anything. So that is called a security. Simply right click on any file or a shortcut or a picture or anything. Go to security tab. This is the security. And these are the list of users who can able to access. Read allow or deny kind of stuff. Okay. So that is security. Encryption. What is encryption? So when you are encrypting a data, so what is this encryption? I have a data in my PC, very important data. Some picture is there, or maybe some video is there, or maybe some file is there. Very important data it is. So someone is trying to access my data through network or maybe through directly with other user permission. They can access, right? So someone is trying to access my data. So what I will do, I will encrypt this data. Okay, I will encrypt this data. So it generate a key. It will generate a key or a certificate. So when you encrypt, it generate a key or a certificate. I'll keep it aside. Without this key or a certificate, any user cannot encrypt this data. Any user cannot encrypt this data. Even the for an admin user also, without a key or a certificate, he cannot able to encrypt the data. So that is called a encryption. Cannot read the data, cannot change the data also. So that is called encryption. It encrypt the data so any other users without having a proper key, so they cannot able to read or write the data. Compression. So what is the compression? So this is my drive. For example, this is my 100 GB drive, and it is about to full. For example, it is 80%, means 80 GB is already full. Now I want to put some data. I can't put able to put a data. I can't able to delete the data. What it is? I can't able to delete the data. I can't able to put the data also. But I have to put it. What to do? Compress. Compress the data so then size on this disk will be reduced. For example, 80 GB data become for example 60 GB. So we'll get a more space in the disk drive. So that is called a compression. So we can compress the data also. Index. What is indexing? When you are trying to search for a particular file, there is a lot of data is there. Whenever you try to search for a particular file with a name or extensions, so you can easily search it. How it is possible? Because of it is got indexed. It is got indexed. Indexing. So obviously you can go to the control panel. You want to see the what is this kind of indexing. So if you index the data, so it is very easy to find the data in your system. And you want to change any options, you can find index option also. This is indexing options. See, advanced modify is also there. If you have to go to modify, so change the selected locations, like which data should be indexed, and summary of selected locations showing here. Okay, next, advanced. So where you want to store the indexed data, what are the file types you want to index, like that. So we can rebuild the index also there. Like if something indexing problem occur, you can rebuild it. Means it will delete the previous index and rebuild the index. These are the file associates. So whenever the file is there, automatically it stores in it. What is this index? When you buy a textbook or anything, we have index. Index, using index, you can easily search like that. Or Windows system create index on each and every data so that we can easily search. Okay, easy to search purpose. So this is about your total file system. Again, I'm going up. First I will touch mbr master boot record. Four primaries we can able to create. Four primary partitions we can able to create it. Three primary, one extended, and one extend we can create number of logical partition. Each partition size is up to 2 TB. Next, GID partition table, 128 primary partitions you can able to create it. No extended, no logical drives. Okay, maximum more than 2 TB array up to 18 EB we can able to create it. Okay, usually primary partitions are used to install an operating system inside. Of course we can store the data also. There is a disk types are there: basic disk, dynamic disk. What are the basic disks? Basic disks are usually to store the operating systems and create a simple partitions and store the data in it. But what dynamic disks are used to combine the one, two or more disks to create a large volumes. Different type of volumes we can able to create by converting basic disk into dynamic disk. Okay, next one is file systems. Different file systems are there in thing. So what is a file system? Arrangement of files in order. Okay, so here is the file systems: FAT, NTFS, REFS, EXFAT, EXT3, EXT4, XFS, NFS, CAFS, like that. So FAT32. FAT is one type of file system. FAT32 other file system, but I've written for a FAT32 only. FAT32 is a 32 GB of partition size maximum single file. Single file max size is 4 GB as old one, but you have to verify this part. Okay, cannot store big files and voice files also you can't put it. NTFS support up to 2 terabytes of each partition and more also possible. Okay, store big size files. Okay, and more, it means more than 2 terabytes it will support. We can store of Windows operating system files also. And there is NTFS features like a disk quota, security, encryption, compression, and indexing. EXFAT is usually for flash drives or memory card kind of stuff. So usually for more than 32 GB memory card is there. So better you have to format with the EXFAT only. Okay, and also it will store very big files unlike your normal FAT file system. REFS is a resilient file system. Resilient file system is one of the new file system from the Microsoft which prevent your data from corruption by using CRC. By using CRC, cyclic redundancy check. Linux, Unix, we using EXT, ext4 kind of file systems, and network file systems are NFS and CAFS. So this is the first part. Okay. Anybody having any doubts or anything? Just ask me.